Hello, beautiful people, beautiful souls, brothers and sisters. Dominika here from D.O. Maximo. And this is a very spontaneous broadcast. I feel truly actually inspired by the incredible changes in my within my mind, within my perception that took place since Yeshua, that, as you know, has been always close to me. And I spoke often about him, and I was often delivering messages from him. But most recently, um, he made his presence in my life um, more intense, if I can call it this way. And that I believe happened for a very good reason, to actually protect me, to help me, to make my perception clear, to redirect me as well. And I will share this personal story with you because I do hope that it will reach those who need the similar help. I do hope that this message will reach those who feel um, that they need help, those who feel maybe that they're trying to do their best, yet nothing is really fully changing in their life. And I really do hope that the message, the testimony that I would like to share with you will truly help you to redirect you on your path, spiritual path as well. I'm not seeking for any personal gain. I just really do hope that this message will help you to awaken the clarity within your perception of what spirituality really is. And I will just quickly start by saying that my so-called awakening or my return to the spiritual path started for me 8 years ago. I shared this quite often during my live broadcasts. It started with Dolores Cannon, whom I came across on YouTube. Her videos, her testimonies of the experiences she had through the QHHT method that she created, which is the quantum hypnotherapy and past life regression, truly made a huge impact on me and made me question a lot of things. From that, very quickly, I was led to Marina Jacobi, who is the quantum physics pioneer. I joined her quantum physics classes. That definitely also helped me to spread my awareness and again start asking even more and more questions. Definitely a huge part, if not the most important part, the most mysterious part of my awakening, or the role of my paintings is also very, very significant. Why? Because my paintings always, even before my awakening, they were always manifesting in my personal reality. Whatever I painted was manifesting. And for many years, as I often mention that, I was putting that down to coincidences. Then when the awakening started, I started to question my paintings as well. How is that happening, that whatever I paint is manifesting? Marina Jacobi was actually the one that helped me to uncover several pieces of puzzles about my paintings, what kind of gift I came here with. But I do not really want to dwell deeper on what my paintings are representing and what kind of profound tool it became for me here on planet Earth. I really want to focus on everything that I thought was expanding me and I thought was suitable for me, and I thought is of my greatest good. But as I am lately, well, as Yeshua made me more aware lately, not everything is so safe. And I would like to share with you a beautiful testimony from one of the encounters, deep, profound encounters with Yeshua that happened for me several years ago, probably 3 years ago. I did have several encounters, deep, profound encounters with Yeshua since I was a very little child. This one definitely was one of the biggest one of the most mouth-dropping. I woken up one morning and I was talking on the phone to one of my clients, and she asked me to rebook one of the sessions. And as I didn't have my diary to write down the new date at hand, I decided to open an application on my phone that is called Notes, and you can simply just write down notes. This application I wasn't really using, but I remember that there is something like that on my phone, so I decided to open it. And as I opened it, uh, there was a message. There was a message written in my notes in this application on my iPhone, and it was a message from Yeshua. It was a written, actual message. I'm not going to read this message to you because I see this as a very personal gift from Yeshua, but the essence of it was that all those illusions, that I am still believing in, like that I can't fully feel my heart, and that I feel maybe not worthy enough, and so on, are nothing. And in this message, he assured me that I am going to break through those illusions. And at the end of this message, he said to me, I will always await you. No matter what, I will always await you. It was those 3 or 4 years ago, it was a really mouth-dropping experience because it was such a physical gift. Nevertheless, at that time, I already felt that I was deeply connected with him, and I don't think I fully understood the last part where he said, I will always await you, because in my mind, um, there was nothing to wait for, because in my mind, I thought I was already his because of all the work, spiritual work that I was doing. And at that time, I was already working as a quantum hypnotherapist, as a mentor. I was helping people heal the inner child, inner teenager. I was definitely offering energy healing sessions, clairvoyance sessions, and so on. I felt that my ability to really easily tap into people's experiences, into people's quantum field, is a great gift, and I was happily doing that. And I think what I didn't realize was that my spiritual ego started to grow. And not such a long time ago, I shared with you that, the enemy is working in a very clever way, very silent, often slow way, but straight to the point. And during all those years when the spiritual awakening became so prominent, so many people started to share that on social media. So many people became those mentors, coaches, teachers. And very silently, this new strain of ego was born, which is the spiritual ego. And I also shared about the wake-up call that I received not such a long time ago, that the spiritual ego um, is very dangerous. It is very dangerous because through the knowledge that the spiritual awakening has given to people about being one consciousness, about past lives, um, about manifesting, it 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 seems like, people, we as humanity, as those so-called awaken, we grabbed it and we started to run with it. And many people focus solely on those manifesting skills, becoming the master manifestors, master healers, and so on. That actually, what very silently happened was that God, the actual God, the source creator, the only truth, the true essence, has been actually eliminated. And I definitely was feeling that, but I couldn't name it. On one side, I felt that I'm expanding in my gifts, that I can now tap into anything. I can download anything. I can channel anything. But there was something missing. And with that unexplainable, unnamed lack, this void inside of me, a fear inside of me started to grow. I started to feel very unsafe. Something very silently was taken over. On one side, I was having this illusion that I am now so powerful. But on the other side, I felt like a completely lost child. And I couldn't understand it, and I was fighting with it. And I actually even became angry with God. I became angry, and I said a lot of words that came from this anger towards God. And I think that's when Yeshua started to very strongly, with his foot down, stepping into my life, even though the way he works with us, and he always fights for every child of God, is always based, what I've noticed at least, is usually based on the tactic to push us towards this suffering so we can, through our own free will, choose to return back to him. He's not compromising our free will. He is very wise and he's very gentle, but he's also very strong, like a lion. And definitely, this kind of presence of Yeshua I experienced. And when I finally started to listen, what has happened, this spiritual ego started to create a massive resistance towards Yeshua within me. I could feel it within my body. A massive fight, a massive conflict, a war. And there were days when I kept trying the tactics that I've learned through so-called this new age meditation, energy healing, visualization. I was my own God, and it didn't work. And I was looping and looping and looping until again I was brought down to my knees. And more I was becoming obedient to at least listen. And I remember one situation around a year ago with one of my clients, and we've been driving towards the Joshua tree in a desert in California, and she shared with me that a woman, I believe, called Doreen Virtue, that was well known as the creator of angelic books and angelic cards, suddenly she transformed and she returned back to Jesus, and she completely threw away all the cards and the books, and she completely transformed herself. And I remember us not laughing, but again, the spiritual ego was speaking through us, like, how can you reject, all those fascinating, truths about this world, what we as humans are capable of, and then to narrow downsize yourself only to Jesus. And later, very in a very similar time frame, what I experienced with Yeshua was a very frightening situation. And in this situation, he came to me and he literally spoke so loudly into my ear. And he said, you need to, no, he didn't say you need to promise me, but he said something around, I am the only way. I am the only way. And I repeated about after him, you are the only way. Yet after that, I still remained in that, bubble of being able to channel all the spirits, people who passed away and so on. Until lately, finally, the spiritual attacks, the spiritual warfare, the life that I started to experience became so unbearable that again, as I said, I finally start digging out this obedience and this humility. And when I started to listen to him, he shared with me that it doesn't mean that all the knowledge that we've been given is false. It doesn't mean that all of it is bad. But he said that there's so much danger in it, that people turn themselves to be their own gods. There are so many false prophets. Through those practices of energy healings, when we truly don't see what we are doing, we can put ourselves and other people in a great danger. He said that doing this kind of work through him, when we are working directly with him, when we are becoming the tool and we are serving others, but with him, that's when we can be of service. That when we embody humility, when we embody the awareness that no, we don't know everything. And if you want to become like Yeshua, if you want to be the embodiment of the divine essence, the Christ consciousness, yes, it is available to all of us. That's what he was trying to teach us, but it is not through just taking this title and proclaiming yourself God. That we are still God's children, and there is a long path of obedience. There is a long path of learning and unlearning and humility and constant worshiping and love for the true God. And he also said that the enemy, the spirits, that is countless in numbers, within the invisible world is so intense right now, and it can mimic itself. It can mimic any so-called spirit guide. It can mimic any so-called angel. And it's really dangerous to just step in without proper protection and start selling that as a product, start serving with that other people. And when I started to open myself more and more to this listening, he started to guide me through other people testimonies. And I realized that the true path is with him. He is like a Patreon on this planet. He is the embodiment of God. He is the living God. He is true. He's loving. He's very loving. He's very good. He's very giving, and he's the best teacher. And I am sharing this message because if you truly want to help, if you truly want to walk this path of awakening, you need to first create a relationship with the one that came here as the embodiment of the person that you wish to become. You need to go to the teacher, and you need to humble yourself. And he's the right way. And he will shield you from all those attacks. If you will open yourself up to him, if you will give yourself fully to him, all those fears that the enemy will imply on you. I had such a profound attacks on my mind where I felt my mental space is completely overtaken. I couldn't stand it anymore until what enemy truly did. It tired me so much that I had to just give everything to him. And he always says, that he knows how to use the attacks of the enemy in our favor and his favor to call back the child home. I am not saying that you should abandon everything you do. It's still your free will choice. But I am simply calling you to be cautious, especially if you are serving other people. You need to understand that to become a master, you really need to first listen to the teacher. Because otherwise you can really put yourself, your family, your clients in a true danger. And if you are serving the wrong master, you can truly, truly destroy your life. When you fully surrender to his will, when you ask for his will to be your will, he will tell you that you will have to surrender your whole life, and that the new life that he actually has for you may be completely different than what your master manifesting skills told you you can create. But I am telling you, the recent weeks when I felt he fights for my soul, and he had to fight for my soul because I gave so much of myself to those practices, to those unseen forces that I wasn't really aware of enough how it works, how it operates. I have no regrets. I truly believe that through those experiences, I actually learned so much about those tactics. And I am grateful that Yeshua, never gave up on me. And I thank him always, often. And this world is so chaotic, and it definitely needs people who want to truly walk on the spiritual path. But it needs people who will become the actual tools of God, not the tools of the enemy. This is a great risk. Enemy knew it's going to happen, that there's going to be a grand awakening. Enemy knew we're going to receive all access to all this sacred, long lost knowledge. And it knew how it use it against us as well. Yeshua is the only way, because he was the living God. And those over 2,000 years ago, he was already preparing us for what is happening today. He gave such a strong testimony. He showed us so many examples of what is truth and what is not of the truth. And it's time to really start study deeper and deeper and start rely on his word, because his word is a living word of God, instead of what the invisible is telling us. And it's also time to humble ourselves, really humble, because we are not going to save this world if we're going to listen to the wrong master. I really do hope that if you feel like you are losing your ground after being on your spiritual path for a long time, that perhaps this message will find you and you will open yourself up to speak to Yeshua, because he is your friend. He will never judge you. But if you will humble yourself, because that's the only thing really you can do, and open yourself up to the true master. And even if you have to let go of all the titles that you thought you gained on the spiritual path, coach, mentor, clairvoyant, whatever else, if you will have to give it all up and start from the ground zero, but from the ground zero when you will be building a strong, solid foundation, where there will be such a strong protection around you, such a clarity, such a shielding, you will never ever regret it. And you will truly feel internally, now I am on the right path. Now I am on the right path, because he is my way. He is my path. I am sending you all a lot of love. Have a good day. Bye-bye.